ecosystem and beyond. For today's episode, we are exploring what it means to be more Africa Ohana, and I'm joined today by Jennifer. So you could kick things off by introducing yourself for our audience, please.
Okay, thank you so much for having me, Tom. And I really appreciate you having me in mind for this. My name is Jennifer Ndlovu, and I have quite a number of roles up my sleeve, but I'll just be brief. So currently, I'm Sales and Marketing Systems Administrator at Learning Labs and Flash Academy. I'm also the founder of African Women in Salesforce community, as well as Africa Ohana, which are community driven initiatives to unite and empower African Salesforce professionals. So, at core, in brief, I'm passionate about using technology, mentorship, and community to open doors for others, especially women and underrepresented voices in Africa.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's fabulous, and I'm looking forward to diving into that more today. For today's session, we'll kind of really dive into the Africa Ohana side of things, if that's okay with you. So, if you were to describe your role within that, or your role as kind of somebody that's helping to spread the Ohana in Africa, how would you define that for our audience?
Okay, so first of all, I'll start by saying it's not an easy task.
Yeah.
Af- Africa Ohana is part of the Global Workforce Development Program at Salesforce. And the main reason why we started Africa Ohana is mainly to create opportunities for Africans to learn, network, and to grow in the Salesforce ecosystem. We also helping to shape a vision, of inclusivity, collaboration, making sure that Africa is a strong voice on the global Salesforce stage.
Mhm.
That's why we are mainly operating currently. And I will say that it could never have been possible, or our success is never possible without the help of the community. We've got so many people that are vouching for us. We've got so many people that are behind us, that are continuously there to support. Salesforce is supporting the initiative. We've got global partners, global individuals that are actually
Mhm.
taking time to come into the community to mentor us, which is what we need at this point.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's great, and it's good to know that you've got all of those people supporting you, and you've got the support of Salesforce too, because that's really important to be successful in something like this. So, thinking about the role of Africa Ohana, like what type of people does this support or help? Like in Salesforce, you have some kind of very traditional roles like admins, developers, consultants. Like, what span of people does this cover, and what type of roles do these people perform?
Okay, so the vision is to support everyone in
Uh-huh.
Salesforce, regardless of the path that they are in, right?
Yeah,
But you'll discover that for Africa, a lot are actually at the beginning phase. So it's
right.
mainly, admins, maybe a consultancy role, and business analysts. But the vision is we want to support everyone as long as you're a trailblazer,
Uh-huh.
African, whether you are in Africa or not, we want to support. So currently, as I said, we've got people who are supporting us. So if there are developers in the house, we've got people who are willing to support the developers in the Africa Ohana,
Yeah,
which is why I'm saying we really want to be as broad as much as possible, and we are doing that.
yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, that's great, and it's really important to have this path, like in particular for new people to the ecosystem, so that they can join this ecosystem and benefit from all of these amazing people that are willing to give their time to help and support others. So, quite frankly, right? How do you fit this in with the day job and the other responsibilities that you have in the community as well? I know you said it's a challenge already, but are you able to like elaborate on that a little bit more for us?
Okay, so that one is an interesting one. So the sales and marketing systems admin role is a full-time one,
Mhm,
and it's good that my organization or the company that I'm working for, Flash Academy, they understand that the community is in my heart, and I always try to make sure that whatever I do that is community related doesn't interfere with my day job. So that means maybe me pushing longer hours or dedicating my weekends to Africa Ohana business. And
mhm.
again, I will be very honest to say that I've got a dedicated team that is working, tirelessly for Africa Ohana. So I can never do it alone. Yes,
Yeah.
there is a, I think we're about 15
Okay.
team members. Yes, and we split to say this group is looking at this section. So we just split our duties because everyone is working voluntarily. There's no one who's getting paid, but everyone is just giving back to the community, and we are all doing this for the love that we have for the community.
Okay. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
that's great, and it's good to know that that's what motivates you to continue to do this and continue to give back. I'm kind of curious, what is the motivation or the driver? Like, did somebody do this for you, and you're now returning the favor by doing it for other people? Like, are you able to elaborate on that a little bit more for us?
Yes, so Tom, I got into this space 3 years ago, into Salesforce 3 years ago. So
Hmm.
getting into it from where I am, like, it was very difficult. I tried reaching out, or rather searching for people who are doing Salesforce in my community, in the African community, but I couldn't get anyone to assist me. But thankfully, the international Trailblazer community would help me. I would knock on doors internationally to say, I need help, and they would listen to me. So as a result, I think when I started kind of documenting my journey on LinkedIn, a lot of Africans started coming out to say, can you guide me? I know there's something called Salesforce, but I don't know how to get into the ecosystem. And
Yeah.
I found myself helping those people without even thinking about it. But somebody knocks on your door on LinkedIn, and you just want to help them because for you already have your feet, you're already up on your feet, so you want to help
Mhm.
somebody else so that they also get into the ecosystem. So it was just a passion to say, I want the other people in my community to get into this. Let's do it together. We're motivating each other, we are pushing each other, we are lifting each other up. And I will also continue to say, starting 3 years ago, I come from a completely non-tech background. I'm coming from a non-tech background. Um, First of all, many people would know I was a cleaner at a hospital 5 years ago. And then I think 4 or 5 months down the line, I became a driver for a nonprofit organization. That
Mhm.
is where I was introduced to Salesforce. So my voice, my message to everyone would be, look at me. I'm coming from a non-tech background, but I'm now proudly a Salesforce professional. Salesforce is tech. And I'm doing it. I can do it. So if I can do it, then you too can do it. There is nothing that should stop you from doing it. If there's any barrier, let's try to break it together. If you're having challenges to say, maybe I can't get into this ecosystem, or I can't get this certification, or I can't get this experience, let's break it together, because
Mhm.
it's all about getting into the ecosystem, and you are helping each other, you're lifting each
Yeah.
other up, and you're winning together.
Yeah, exactly. I really, really love that. It's making me smile a lot because that's ultimately what the community is about. It's about uplifting and supporting each other. So if there was someone listening to this, right, and they're feeling a little bit inspired and they perhaps want some support or guidance from like the Africa Ohana, like what's a way for them to get involved and um, ultimately like reach out for that support or have some of those conversations? Like what's the best way for somebody to kind of step into this amazing world of the Africa Ohana?
Okay. So, as I have mentioned, we've got a team of dedicated people in the ecosystem in Africa Ohana who are
Mhm,
willing to help. So, we've got channels, we've got a channel on, we've got a LinkedIn page,
mhm,
we've got a WhatsApp group, WhatsApp community group, where most Trailblazer community groups in Africa just get into the community for, we just chat and we join other groups regardless of where the group is, as long as it's in Africa. We
yeah.
also have Slack channel, so we
Okay. Yeah.
collaborate with Slack as well. So if somebody wants to collaborate with us, they can go to the LinkedIn page, write a message, and then we're going to give them the WhatsApp link as well as the Slack channel link, and they can communicate. If they need any help, they can also knock on anyone's door. So they thank God, the co-founder of Africa Ohana, he's always there, ready to listen.
Mhm.
And again, the team, as I've already mentioned, and myself.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. That's great to know. And I think the fact that there's different channels makes it more accessible to everybody as well, because you've got the LinkedIn page, the WhatsApp group, and the Slack area as well. So that's great. So thinking about this now, if there was somebody that was looking to start out and perhaps this is kind of better framed as somebody looking to start out in the Salesforce ecosystem, like what tips or advice would you give to that person apart from obviously engaging with the Africa Ohana and getting stuck
Mhm.
in with all of those resources? Is there anything else that would be helpful or beneficial, do you think?
Yeah. So first of all, you have to start by believing in yourself. You have to start by
Yeah.
believing that you belong in technology. Even if your background looks different, start by believing in yourself. And then take advantage of free resources like Trailhead
Uh-huh.
and community groups. It's very fun to play around on Trailhead, and join as many community groups as you can. There's no limit. If there's a community group in an area that is like miles away from you,
Yeah.
you don't lose anything by joining,
Uh-huh.
because there is the power of networking, right? And find a mentor, become part of a network. So the power of Salesforce lies in the community.
Yeah.
And most importantly, I would say don't wait to feel ready. Start where you are and grow as you go.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that. It's like kind of growing out into a flower or something, sow the
Mhm.
seeds and then grow from there. That's fab. And do you find like in the Africa region in general, like are there more in-person events or are there more virtual events or how does that kind of work? Because obviously Africa is a very big place geographically compared to somebody who's from London and very small area. Like,
Mhm.
do you, does there tend to be more in person or more virtual, or do you think it's kind of very mixed and depends?
Okay, so currently there is a balance. So some community groups concentrate largely on in person, and then some will
Mhm.
do virtual, right? So
Right.
we tend to strike that balance. And for events like to do with Africa or HANA combined, obviously we'll do that virtually. But I will say that groups are trying to meet in person as much as possible, because
Mhm.
yes, virtual is good. There's power in virtual networking, virtual, but it's also good to also just meet in person, have lunch, a snack together, talk about Salesforce, learn
Yeah.
Salesforce, do Agent Force. So yeah, there
Yeah.
is a balance.
Okay. Awesome. And I guess the other benefit of like the Salesforce ecosystem and being part of it is like I've spoken to different people on this podcast. I've spoken to people that help run the business analyst virtual group, which is a virtual Trailblazer community group. There's another one for mental health and illness, which again is a virtual thing. And there's also like a neurodivergent Trailblazer community group as well, which I believe is virtual too. So I think there's lots of online offerings. I think have to consider the time zone of everything.
Yes.
But Trailhead is obviously another great way. And then you've got the Trailblazer community too, which again is another free resource which you can tap into and ask questions. So that's great. So thinking now we're going to jump back to kind of your role within the Africa Ohana for the next question. If you were to start out again, helping others in the ecosystem and helping them blaze their own trail, so to speak, like, is there anything you would change or do differently, do you think?
So I would have trusted myself sooner and
Mm,
silenced that self-doubt earlier, because I never knew I had the potential to one day lead. I don't know if I can call it leading.
yeah.
I did not know that I could have the potential of having a vision to grow a community. It had
Uh-huh.
never dawned on me that I had that. So if I were to start again, I would have I would have trusted myself sooner, as well as I would also lean into community much faster, because it accelerates your growth and opens opportunities you might not find on your own.
Mhm. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's great. And like, as somebody who struggles with imposter syndrome, like, I completely understand the whole concept of having this thing going on in your head that's like working against you sometimes. I think it does impact us all in different scales, and in different ways. So I think that's definitely something to give yourself like kindness for. And I think certainly, I'm not sure if you've had the same kind of journey as what I'm about to say, but like I always used to struggle with public speaking. And you know, I'm sat here now on a podcast talking to somebody who's on the other side of the world. Like, if it's possible for me to overcome that, and it's possible for you to do what you've done in helping people within your local community, then anything is possible, right?
Anything is possible, because I also struggle with public speaking. I don't even know how to do my dream for session, but it has to happen and I'm going to do it.
Well, I'll be there cheering you on, yeah, in the audience. So yeah, I look forward to it. And I think that's like another tidbit or like piece of advice I would give to somebody here. Like, if you do struggle with public speaking, like speaking at a local community group,
Mhm.
or a small event is a really great way to get started and kind of break yourself into that world. Um, have you tried that? Did that help you on your own journey?
Yeah, so I'm invited to a lot of community group events.
Hmm.
Sometimes it just happens, naturally. When you're speaking about something that is coming from deep down your heart, it comes out without you even struggling to think,
Hmm.
because you are being you, you are being real. So it has never really bothered me or really troubled me, because I'm doing what I love. I'm talking about what I love.
Hmm.
So that passion will come naturally. And I also joined Toastmasters International just to get that confidence, and it has been helping me.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I think that's really solid advice there. And thinking about this now, and again, we're kind of going to jump back to Africa Ohana as our role here, but what skills or attributes does it take to be part of the Africa Ohana? Like whether this is somebody that's helping to run the program or somebody that's like a participant in the program, are there particular personality traits that help here or like particular behaviors that you would encourage?
Yeah, so curiosity, we
Hmm.
need that drive to be
Yeah.
able to complete tasks, to be able to complete the cohorts. And we also need patience because sometimes somebody is going to learn and then they're going to say, I've learned so much. I have my certifications, but why am I not getting a job? So patience also is key.
Hmm.
And on the team side, we need to have empathy
Yeah.
because all this will come up, you know. So we need to be able to understand people's challenges to design solutions that will truly serve them. So if somebody will come to me, they are frustrated about their journey, things are not going well, regardless of the effort they are putting, I have to be
Hmm.
empathetic, right?
Yeah.
And we also need to have great communication skills, um, us as a team as well as for the participants, because that's why we have all these collaboration tools, Slack, WhatsApp,
Yeah.
so that everybody is reached, you know, so that everybody is free to communicate whatever they would want. We've got safe spaces where people can air their views, their
Hmm.
frustrations. We're always there to listen. And yeah, so I think those are the main attributes that I can think of at this point.
Yeah. And I'm going to throw in an additional one and see how you feel about this. Like, I think it's really important to ask why as well, because like something I've learned on my own journey is there are lots of different ways to achieve the same result in
Mm,
Salesforce, right? But there's perhaps a better way that when you compare it to others. So having that healthy debate, I think is really important. And the community certainly like fosters that through community groups and other things because
mm.
it helps everybody in the room learn, not just the people that are having the conversation, but everybody else that's kind of listening and observing. Do you think that's a really important skill and attribute as well?
That's definitely an important
Yeah.
attribute. I can't say more because that is extremely important.
Yeah. And I love like that and how that ties back to like the skills of a business analyst, because I think quite a lot of roles in the ecosystem need to have that why mentality and ask actually, okay, you want to do it like this, but why do you want to do it like this? Or
Yes.
have you considered like that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think building on some comments that we're getting in the chat, yeah, open-mindedness is
Mm,
really important too, as well as the other things like active listening and empathy. Like it's a great conversation that we're having here because it shows how supportive you are to your community members and how that helps people as well. So that's fantastic. So um, moving on slightly, but when people hear about Africa Ohana, and maybe they're hearing about it for the first time, do they ever have a misconception or they make an assumption that's perhaps wrong that you would like to clarify? Like, I don't know, people might think that it's a really small scheme, but you've definitely debunked that one considering the amount of people that are working behind the scenes to keep this going. Like, is there anything else like that that comes to mind that it would be good to clarify for the audience?
yeah, so I would want the audience to know that talent is everywhere. Salesforce talent is everywhere.
Hmm.
And communities like Africa Ohana exist to close the tech gap. So if ever you're thinking of investing into Africa, bringing Salesforce to Africa, the talent is there,
Yeah.
ready to rocket in the Salesforce world.
Yeah.
And we are investing heavily in mentorship, upskilling, and advocacy. So we just do not want to create careers, but we want to generate, to create a generational impact. That's why we are here as
Mhm.
Africa Ohana.
Yeah.
So believe in us. We know how to do our thing.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, that's a great point to kind of bring things to a close on.
Mm.
But before we do go, what's a way for people to connect with you and your content and the kind of resources that you put out there for others?
Okay, so LinkedIn is the best place to connect with me
Hmm.
and follow our pages, African Women in Salesforce Community, as well as Africa Ohana,
Yeah,
and as well as, yeah, our channels, Slack, as well as WhatsApp.
yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, that's great. Hopefully, we will encourage some more people to become part of the Africa Ohana and be supported on their own journey, um, whatever way that leaves or whatever path they decide to go down within the ecosystem. So that's great. Thank you again for your time today.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you for having me.
No worries. You're welcome. Thank you.